Hello everyone, this is day 80 of building a house every day for 100 days. Before we get into this one, I just want to thank all you guys for support recently. Like really, it's kind of been crazy. I got a couple new patrons, so real quick, I'm going to shout out Caesar and Frankie, two newest patrons here. This house is actually dedicated to the first one, Caesar. If you want a house dedicated to you, and you also want to download all the houses I've built for this series, it's just $3 at the link down below. There's also an $8 tier where you get a house request, but yeah, if you just want the builds, it's just $3. Let's get into the house here though. Kind of decided, like, I know people said they're kind of sick of like the steep roofs. A couple people have said it in like my Discord and like during stream. But you know, I went for it anyway. I kind of, I built this one this morning. I was kind of not streaming for once, so kind of was just thinking about what I wanted to do. Get this like orange roof here real quick. I actually based this off like a kind of like concept art like image I found on Pinterest. I'll show it on the screen right now if I remember. Hopefully I do when I'm editing. I like loosely based off it. I think it came out pretty good. Just like you get inspiration from like a lot of different places. I kind of decided like if I see something I like, I can basically make it into something else. Like it's not too similar to the piece of concept art, but like it's got the orange roof, it's got the tower on the left. Kind of these like two sections as well. Let's get back to the actual build itself here though. Start working on this tower. I kind of build it here. It ends up too low. So I kind of raise it up a bit in a second here. Kind of like a medieval, kind of like fantasy kind of vibe on the house. Definitely fantasy, I'd say. I don't really honestly know what like style of house things really are. Like, I don't know what makes a house like a medieval house. I just kind of say that. I honestly have no idea. But, back to the house here. Get this kind of like window thing in the front. Figured it adds a lot of shape, kind of helps fill up the front. I like the way it looks. I'm liking the shape of the house. Obviously, it's like very plain. Mess around with how to detail this like white tower because you can't really like. It doesn't have a frame on it, because it's like a circle. So I choose trapdoors. Add a bit of depth to it. I think it came out pretty good. Head around to the back for a second. Just adding these like stairs and trapdoors that kind of help round out the frame. Just kind of like fits better with like the feeling I'm going for. I like the way it looks. Add some more shape. Kind of looks a bit more like, just intricate and detailed. So you just add that everywhere. I also add a spruce wood, like stripped spruce. I think it blends pretty well with the oak. Kind of just brings like a bit of a different color, but it's still like a pretty similar like feel. Just like a bit of a different, like softer texture to parts, maybe. Maybe like they're kind of like worn, like weathered a bit. At first, I built this one on flat land because I was kind of thinking of having it more as like a town setting, so like paths around it and stuff. But I figure it fills up the space alone pretty well, so I decided to put a hill under it. Just connect everything to the land here. I started to figure out the blocks I'm gonna use. Of course, it's a white wall. I texture it similarly as I do all my other houses. Polished diorite on the corners, some diorite coming out, a bunch of calcite and white concrete powder to kind of like blend everything in, fill out the space a bit. I definitely kind of overuse this block, I'd say, but I just really like it. Never listen to the diorite slander. Very good looking block. You just gotta know how to use it. Because like, I never used diorite and I started using it and now I really like it. It's a really good block. Start filling everything in here. Just get all the texturing. I got a lot of space to kind of texture here. As I finish up on the texture, I just want to say I have a link to my Discord down below. A lot of cool people in there, talk about Minecraft builds and stuff. So if you're interested in like a community around like my videos and like similar style stuff, then just consider joining. It's a pretty cool place. Also, I stream on this channel like about every other day, a few times a week I stream. So if you ever want to stop by and watch me build one of these houses live, that's the place to do it. Stream pretty often. A few people come through there, seem to enjoy it. So yeah, just consider stopping by. Back to the house here though. Start texturing the roof. I use orange sandstone, like smooth orange sandstone, some trapdoors, and some stripped acacia. Kind of similar palette to what I used on day 60 for the roof, which I really liked. But I kind of like trying to make it a bit brighter in this one, so less grays. More orange sandstone. More red sandstone, sorry, because it's like a brighter orange. I get these walls kind of to make it even more pointy. Like, sandstone walls on the top. Trapdoors just for a bit of like difference in texture, different like color, kind of makes like a nice like line through it. You know, just filling everything out. Kind of takes a minute here. A lot of the time on these builds are spent texturing, but I feel like if you don't texture it, you can make the best shaped house in the world and it'll still look kind of bad. So like texturing is like really important. So you know, if you're here to learn something and you know, if you have one takeaway from this video, it'd probably be just to like really spend time texturing your houses and like figure out exactly what you want to do with it. Because I feel like it's like probably the most important part of building. Yeah, roof texturing done here. I start putting these like flower pots in. Also figure out when I kind of put like a front porch, kind of like a really small porch, just kind of like a, I don't really know what you'd call it. I guess it is a porch, but it's just like a place for the door because it's kind of not flat. I don't want too bulky of a frame on it either, so I use trapdoors and signs. Looks pretty good in my opinion. Got this front window thing, like, it's kind of not even with the section on the bottom, so instead of moving the top, like, roof, I just moved this frame over a block. I like the way it looks. I think it came out pretty good. It technically isn't like symmetrical with the back, but it doesn't really matter. Like, who cares? Like, really? So, you know, get texturing this, not texturing, sorry, getting windows in here. I kind of figure instead of glass, I want to put a flower pot, because if I were to put a flower pot like coming out of that tower, it would look too like three-dimensional. Like there would be too much space coming out. It would look very wrong. So I just put the pot inside. You'll see there, you know, just a flower in there. Kind of gives the illusion it's like a window. Get a bunch of lanterns around, and like, you know, those flower pots on the other windows as well. Just kind of fill it up, add some light, add a bunch of color. Outside of the house is coming along pretty good right now. I'm really happy with it. I really wasn't happy with how his house looked at first. It's actually like the second like attempt I kind of had at it. I actually scrapped the first one. It looked pretty bad. Like half an hour into it, I just kind of like didn't like the shape. Fill everything in here for some color. I get a path. It's like a pretty simple path. I mix a bit of mud in. I like the way it looks, and he's kind of like, I don't know, I just like the way it looks. And more like a fantasy setting for some reason. Like a hay bale cart, get some hay bales around. I figure it kind of looks good with the orange roof. Just like a nice color, in my opinion. I get some leaves around as well. Kind of like just blend it in more. I use some spruce in there. It's like a bit of a different color than I usually use, but I like it. You know, grass and ferns and stuff. And that really about wraps up the outside. Get a sign dedicating this to my patron Caesar. I really appreciate your support. A couple small details on the outside here, but yeah, that's really about it. Good looking house on the outside. Start with the interior now. Definitely one of the longest interiors I've done in this series so far. It's a lot of space inside. It's like 3 whole stories, like full size stories. So start just kind of cleaning everything, separating it a bit. Putting on some temporary lanterns so you can see. Over in this tower, I get a spiral staircase. Figure it's like the best place to have like a way up. There's nothing else you could really use that space for. Kind of decided to have like multiple purposes per floor, like on each floor. So for this bottom floor, it's kind of like a restaurant kind of area. So at the bottom, I have like this like counter. People will be preparing the food. Get like a fridge, some shelves, lanterns, like a sink. Kind of like a bar space. You know, fill everything in. Pretty happy with how this interior came out. It just took a while to get there, as you can probably tell by how long it's left in the video. But yeah, I get these like seats in. Kind of like want it to look kind of sporadic. Like I don't want it to look too ordered. So they don't really line up too well, but that's fine. A couple like different size tables. Some of them are scaffolding, some of them are like trapdoor. Get this like tall potted plant. Just a bit more stuff in here. A bunch of lanterns. Lanterns and flower pots really helpful to space out. A bunch of paintings as well on the walls. Like a jukebox. Some more plants. A couple more small details. I get a quick menu up. I spent way too long thinking about how much money to make all of these like hypothetical items. But inflation really hit whatever place this is hard. So, you know, millions of dollars for everything. Head upstairs to the next floor. My idea was kind of like the bottom floor was like the work floor, and the rest of them were like where the people who run the restaurant kind of like live. So I get started up here, get like this door, and then kind of section it off. Put a quick kitchen behind the camera here, so you can't really see it yet, but it'll pan over. Get a dining space. Figure out how I want to section this off, because I know I need to fit a bedroom in here. Kind of weird shape. Bunch of paintings in this welcome space over there. Section off this corner here. Just, you know, similar to the outside of the house. And like the block palette I used for it. Get this kind of like TV entertainment space. Carry the carpet through. Bunch of bookshelves, you know, lanterns, flower pots, paintings. Just a bunch of stuff to fill the walls up. It's kind of the most important thing when you're doing interiors, in my opinion. Is just fill the space up. Head over here for this bedroom. Pretty small space, but I think I make the most of it. I'll get a quick desk, bed, some bookshelves. Hang like a chest up over there, like a shelf. And that's about it for the middle floor. Upstairs, a bit quicker than that floor here. Because, you know, a bit smaller of a space. Like height-wise. Clean everything up. Keep it pretty simple. Over in this corner, I get a quick, like, sleeping area. It's not like a bedroom, because, like, kind of like a studio apartment, I guess. Like, it's all one room. Quick carpet, because the blue, I feel like, matches nice with the orange on the roof. Keep the lanterns around just so you can see for now. Of course, sink needs to be by a window, so over here is where the kitchen goes. Door over there on the right, just quick like armor stand, kind of like a closet, I guess. Put some like log across the ceiling, just kind of look like maybe like support beams, but in reality, just kind of to help fill the space up. Have like a shelf to put pots on and that kind of stuff. The dining area here on the left. Over on the right, I got like an entertainment space with like this kind of like L-shaped house. Quick armor stand, get some carpet in. Table. Bunch of paintings to fill up the walls. Some flower pots, azalea stuff. Hang some lanterns up as well. Bunch of like smaller stuff. It's kind of hard to see in this kind of thing, this kind of view. But yeah, that's really about it. If you enjoyed, you know, consider subscribing. Check out the Patreon down below if you want to download 81 houses now. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.